What up? What up? What up? What's good? What's good? I appreciate y'all checking me out. Let's get right into it. All right. I want to talk about. I really hate doing it because it's such a low hanging fruit. You got a lot of media cover these people, man. I mean, day in and day out. You can't really turn to Sports Center. You can't turn to YouTube. You can't turn to Fox without talking about the Los Angeles Lakers. And the reason for that is because they have three. I mean, number one is LA, arguably the biggest basketball franchise market, right? But you also got Bron, you got Anthony Davis, you got Russell Westbrook. We talking about three, three of the let's just say three of the best players in the league right now, right? So these guys all get together, they join forces. LeBron put it together, Palinka put it together, Genie put it together. Really don't matter. It ain't been working, right? So let's talk about the Lakers' options. They don't have none, right? I mean, because the only real option that they have, they clearly don't want to do. You got fans that's against the move. But recently, and this is why I'm doing this, because I know this is going to start picking up traction. And I don't want to, I know this rumor is going to start picking up traction. They're going to start putting pressure on the Lakers over this summer, especially to trade Anthony Davis. Stephen A. came out and he kind of was the first to go on record and say it. All right. So I want to go on record and say it that I agree with Stephen A. Smith. This team is garbage. This team is atrocious for different reasons. Russell Westbrook is not one of them. Well, kind of he is in the sense that he taking up so much cap space. But they tried to trade Russ, didn't they? I mean, rumors, reports come out that they tried to trade Russ, but it just really wasn't a lot of it wasn't a lot of offers out there for the Lakers as far as Russell Westbrook go. They John Wall, you know, I'm not trading one great player in a bad contract for a injured player and a worse contract, right? So I say the Lakers got to trade Anthony Davis. All right, and here's why. You tried to trade Russell Westbrook, even though he didn't play damn near all the games this season. You want to trade Russell Westbrook, but you're not going to get anything back for Russell Westbrook. However, Anthony Davis's his value is still pretty much through the roof, right? He still got one of the best values in the league. Now, I don't think that you'll get, let's say, equal value in a trade for Anthony Davis, but you will get younger pieces, more fresh legs, more energetic players. You probably get a couple of draft picks, which, if I'm the Lakers, you got to start looking towards the future for sure. The biggest issue, though, to me, is the Lakers' cap space. It's another big reason why they need to go ahead and trade Anthony Davis, man. Again, you can't get anybody to take Russell Westbrook, right? So to me, your best option is trading Anthony Davis and seeing what type of young pieces you can get there. Because otherwise, you just wasting everybody's time. You wasting the Lakers fans' time. You wasting LeBron's time, who I think he got about 3 years left with them. I'm not entirely sure, but let's just look at some of the numbers as far as cap space for the Lakers, and then it'll kind of help further prove my point on why they need to trade Anthony Davis as opposed to Russell Westbrook. Because, all right, just look at this. Look at this. Russell Westbrook is taking up this year $44.2 million, right, towards the cap space. That's more than Bron. That's $3 more million than LeBron. He actually is set to make more money than LeBron as his tenure throughout his tenure as a Laker, right? Bron is making $41.1 million this year. Anthony Davis is making $35.3 million this year. And you got THT, $9.5 million. You got Kendrick Nunn, who you gave a player option to. And he ain't did nothing. He getting $5 million this year, right? So like the Lakers currently, as far as luxury tax space go, they are negative $19.6 million. All right. Cap space, they are negative $48 million. And the most cap space that they would have been able to free up this year, and I say would have been because of the trade deadline, right, is negative $38 million. What you can do with that? What can you do with a negative $38 million? There's not a lot of options out there for you, right? So to me, if you getting rid of, especially if you getting rid of, let's just say they could have or still can maybe over the summer find a suitable trade partner for Russell Westbrook. This is what I say do. If you're gonna shop Russell Westbrook, go ahead and shop Anthony Davis too. You'll free up cap space by, well, this is the thing about it. Russ got a player option. Russ next season will make $47 million on his player option. You think he finna decline that? You think you gonna find a team that's willing to take that contract? Well, maybe you will, because you got teams. I say you got teams that's looking towards the future a little bit, in the sense that, hey man, maybe I can unload this contract and that contract. I'll take Russ for a season. Let him do his season with his player option, his $48 million, and then maybe we can try to re-sign him over the off season for a lesser contract, because there's no way Russell Westbrook will ever see $40 million again on a contract, right? I mean, as much as y'all done dogged him out, the media done dogged him out, and the fact that the Lakers are doing so horribly is not helping anybody's value. But Anthony Davis still has value because the Ben Simmons effect hadn't kicked in on him yet. You get too many of these reports coming out that Anthony Davis is injured, he's injury prone, or look at how many other players have kind of rose above Anthony Davis. I'm not gonna start naming them. I'm not gonna get off into that, but before those narratives start kicking in, I think the Lakers need to go ahead and trade him before the media lower his value, right? And just see what you can get for him, man. But I guess part of the problem is that Bron only want to play with veterans for real. But you gave up so much to get Anthony Davis. You got to try to. Maybe you won't get as much back as you gave out for him, but at this point, you're not winning anything. With the amount of cap space they have, they are expected to go into next season with the same roster. Besides the players that I just named off, they got a bunch of veteran minimum contracts on the team. So letting those players go is not really gonna help you none. You have to start looking at all options, right? So even this free agency coming up right here, you ain't really got a lot of options. It's not a lot of people who you can sign. who you can bring in. All right, so let's just say. All right, so let's just say this. Let's just look at this. Next year for the 2022 2023 season, their luxury cap space, their luxury tax space will be a negative 2.1 million. Their cap space will be a negative 55 million. And the most that they'll be able to open up is 19.7 million, right? Let's just say 20 million. That's all fine and dandy. Here's the issue with that though. You got THT set to make 10 million next year, right? Why am I saying that? THT is 10 million. Let me say that again in case you're not picking up what I'm putting down. THT, Taylor Horton Tucker, 10 million. The most cap space that you can open up next year is 20 million. So what do? Do you sign? Let's just say next year THT and Kendrick Nunn alone combine for 15.4 million. Because we know Kendrick Nunn he's accepting that player offer. I mean that player option, right? So that's 15.4 million. That's all of your 19.7 right there, and you get nothing in return for. Now, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is these are the caliber of players that you're gonna get. I think Gary Harris is making like 21 or 22 million dollars. You understand what I'm getting at? 19.7 gets you jack shit. It gets you nothing. And in this economy, this market is just like how we living out here. The cost of living is up. The market is up. You mean to tell me THT is worth $10 million? Gary Harris is worth $20 million? Nope, they not. But they are according to market value, right? If you can only open up 19.7 million in the 22-23 season, it's just not getting you nothing. So even if there are any free agents that open up that year, that's available that year, you don't qualify for none of them. With 19.7 million that you have to try to open up. You have to try to open that up. I'm assuming you can only open that up by trading Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook. So that's what they need to do. If you a Lakers fan, if you a LeBron James fan, and you care about the Lakers franchise, whether or not LeBron win another ring, because at this point it don't look like he winning nothing. He's not winning anything. The Lakers, capital I, capital F, if they make it to the playoffs this year, the play-in this year, they ain't winning nothing. They getting bounced in the first round. They're getting bounced in the first round. I don't really care who they go up against. They getting bounced. I don't see them beating nobody who will or can make the playoffs. I don't see them beating them in the best of sevens. They best chance is going up against somebody like Denver, and that's just because Jamal Murray and Michael Porter is injured. You feel me? They best chance is going up against somebody like Denver. But if you're in the play-in, you end up being the 8th seed, the 7th seed, you going up against the dogs. The Lakers are not beating, right now with this roster, the Lakers are not beating the Suns, the Warriors, the Grizzlies, or the Jazz in the best of 7. I don't got them beating the Mavericks in the best of 7. Maybe the Clippers, but Clippers got dudes out there that's not scared of LA. They're not scared of the Lakers. You understand what I'm saying? You have to trade Anthony Davis. It's your best option of not even necessarily clearing up cap space, but getting something in return. Some type of pieces out there that could help with depth, with defense. Scoring is not an issue. Scoring is not the problem. They get buckets. They got players who get buckets, but they need fresh legs, defensive communication, and also I don't see how they could even do that if they don't practice. They don't even practice. LeBron James and the Lakers, they're not a team that practices. So how can you develop chemistry? How can you develop defensive, you know what I mean? Team defense. I don't know who the Lakers should try to get for Anthony Davis, but I do think that you should put him on the block. Put rumors out there, make them available, make teams call you and say, hey, I got such and such for Anthony Davis. You can get a big haul for him. Look at what look at what Philly just got for Ben Simmons. They got James Harden for Ben Simmons. Like, yeah, they gave up other pieces, but they got James Harden for Ben Simmons, essentially. Like that was the headline of the trade. They got James Harden for Ben Simmons. The Nets for James Harden got Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and a couple of draft picks. That's a pretty big haul for, you know what I'm saying? So I can only imagine that whatever you get offered for, because a lot of teams covet Anthony Davis. It's not a lot of. He's one of the top 5 big men currently in the NBA, and that's something that's valued, right? I don't think Anthony Davis. I think if Anthony Davis was with another team, someone who was more team oriented, they would be quite all right. I think they would be better off for sure. But you want to bring him over to help LeBron win a championship, and that's just not. It's just not about to happen. They got the bubble chip. I'm not even going to discredit the bubble chip. I'm going to let them have the bubble chip. But let's just say the Lakers right now played the Miami Heat. The current Miami Heat. The current Lakers team versus the current Miami Heat. Who you got winning the best of 7? Be real. I guess if we say the Lakers made it let's just say if they made it to the finals, then yeah, I guess I would have to put my money on the Lakers for the simple fact that the underdogs. Right now, they the underdogs. So if they just so happen to make it to the finals, I guess I would put my money on them. But that's a hypothetical right there, ain't it? Anybody listening to this right now know that the Lakers ain't about to do a goddamn thing out there, man. Y'all know already, right? So, to me, I think trading Anthony Davis is just it's your best option as far as getting depth. I think if you can find somebody to trade Russell Westbrook, go ahead and do that. Not because Russ is the issue, but because I'm tired of y'all shitting on Russ like y'all getting on him. I'm over that one. If Russ go to any other team in the NBA, I don't care what team it is, they are going to the playoffs. And he'll probably be leading them. So, yeah, go ahead and trade Russ to get the cap, to open up the cap space. I think Zach LaVine is a free agent coming up this season. I think that's the biggest name in free. Hold on, let's see, man. I got my celly right here. Let's just check it out. I'm at Spotrac, SPOTRAC.com. I think it's Spotrac.com. But let's just look at let's take a quick gander at the upcoming free agents for this season. Let's just take a quick gander. All right. Well, these are the guys who are free agents who don't have options. I tell you, Kyrie got an option, Bill got an option, Russ got an option, Harden got an option, John Wall got an option, right? So outside of these dudes who got options, yeah, man, look, man. Gary Harris is making more money than Zach LaVine this year. Zach LaVine is making $19.5 million. You know his price is going up. You know his price is going up, and I'm not even sure if Chicago will be able to afford him. So that's something to keep your eye on right there. I tell you who can't afford him though. You know what I'm saying? Not without trading Russ and Anthony Davis, but then where do that leave you? Nowhere. It leave you right back at square one. You got Gary Harris at $21 million. You got Zach LaVine, Ricky Rubio, Andre Iguodala, Thaddeus Young, Joe Ingles. I'm just going down the list according to who getting paid. This just according to who getting paid the most. Thaddeus Young, Joe Ingles, Taurean Prince. Taurean Prince is getting paid $12 million. Yusuf Nurkic is getting paid $12 million. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can't even afford. You got Serge Ibaka, Montrezl Harrell, DeLon Wright. I just don't know. I don't know what they think they're gonna be able to do. Jeremy Lamb will be out there at $10.5 million. Robert Covington at 11.7 right now. I mean, you got players out here. The Lakers just won't be able to afford none of them. It's nobody out here. Let me see. Colin Sexton, but he a restricted free agent. Lou Will, Lakers fan. Y'all want Lou Will? Y'all want Lou Will? You got Miles Bridges gonna be a restricted free agent, but there's no way they gonna be able to afford him. He might end up being the highest paid free agent, honestly. So I mean, it's just not a lot of options out there. If you the Lakers, man, it's just really not a lot that you can do. So that's just my opinion, man. That's my take. I really don't want to spend too much time on it. I just wanted to get this out here, talk about it before it start picking up more traction over the summer. I wanted to go on record and say that this is the Lakers' best option right here to trade Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook. I don't really, again, Russ is not the issue, but Anthony Davis being paid 35, 37 million on a cap space, and he only let's look and see right quick, man. Let's look and see, because my man told me earlier today, but I forget. Look at this, man. You paying 35 to 37 million for a dude who only played 37 games this year so far. 37 games this year so far. $5 million for Kendrick Nunn, who ain't played no games this year so far. Last year, Anthony Davis only played 36 games. Why is we paying $40 million for somebody who only played a combined 70 games last season, man? I mean, over the last 2 seasons. Do that make sense to y'all, Laker fans? Is that is that how you win? Can you win like that? I don't know, man. That's just my take. That's my opinion. Let me know down here in the comments if I said anything wrong or why you might disagree with me, so that I can tell you that you crazy. Because you crazy if you don't think that Anthony Davis need to be traded. You crazy if you think that he ain't getting no younger. Neither one of them. Ain't neither one of them getting no younger. Right? You wasting Bron time. You are literally wasting Bron time. And hey, man, you trade Anthony Davis, maybe you can get a future pick that you can use as leverage to try to get Bronny as a Los Angeles Laker, because Bron already done made it clear he wants to play. Wherever his son is, that's where he'll be. Wherever his son get drafted at, that's where he'll be. So if you the Lakers, I wouldn't do it. I would go ahead and let Bron walk. I let him walk. I would, because we're not talking about Bron 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. We talking about Bron with no knees. He got all the buckets in the world for you, but it just don't mean nothing if he not willing to practice, if he not willing to play defense, if he don't want no young players on this team. It's just not helping the Lakers. So whether you a Laker fan or a LeBron fan, the best option is to trade Anthony Davis. All right. Let me know what y'all think, man. Peace.